Hey, hey, hey!
Hello, everyone.
So this probably looks a little bit different. A, I'm not by myself. B, Derek is not on here. So today we're doing stuff that's a little bit different. This is the amazing, the beautiful, the bulletproof Kristal Poore.
Hello, everyone.
And we are going to deep dive into her experience, her journey on becoming bulletproof. And we're going to explain exactly what that is, what life looked like before, what life looked like now, what she's working on now, because it's a continuing evolution. So Kristal's a single mom of 4. All of her kids are grown. She is a grandmother of 4. And so yeah, life has definitely been challenging for her, but she's resilient. She's been up against a lot over time, and she always used to put people, family members, friends, relationships above herself and put herself on the back burner. So we're going to deep dive into some of her story. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. I don't know if you've ever gone online before, so here we go.
Like a couple times. So
No pressure, no
okay.
pressure.
It's just fun.
But we just want to share, because I feel like so often and this is to men too, but for women, when we're struggling with something, we feel isolated, we feel alone, we feel a lot of shame, and so we hide it. We don't open up and share about it. And so I'm big on bringing light, if you could see our lights right now, onto the darkness, so that you don't have to be alone, you don't have to be isolated anymore. So Kristal, share with us your story.
Well, some of you know that Megan's been posting some of my story a little bit this last week on Facebook. So I had to really dig, because Megan will really pick your brain and she'll ask you a lot of questions. So you have to like really dig deep to the root. And so I had to go back to when my insecurities did start. And of course, some of you read that when I got burned on my right side when I was a baby, and then just as I got older, which what the world portrays like how you should be. You know, you need to be skinny. You know, you can't eat this. You have to do this. So I had all my kids back to back, put on a bunch of weight. I thought the weight loss surgery was the fix, because everyone just wants a quick fix.
And you had that at age 25.
I had that at age 25. Yeah. And now it was the worst thing I done for me personally, because the long-term effects to it, and it wasn't a fix. So I struggled with the body battles, because now not only was I wasn't heavy, but I had a loose skin now that I had to deal with. And so I was really insecure. So I probably said this is probably the first time I came in with a sweater on. I said, you know what, I'm taking this off because I'm bulletproof now. So it was just the struggle. It's a body battle. It was, you know, just the acceptance. You just want that acceptance from people. And then as we talk through all of this, you'll realize once Megan teaches you how to take those layers off, you just learn to love yourself, and then those things that matter doesn't matter no more.
And a big piece to what I feel like, so with Kristal's journey, and this is so different for everybody, but for hers, with doing the weight loss surgery, in a way she tried a lot of things, and she wanted that quick fix in a way.
Yeah, it was a quick fix,
Once you got there and you got to the weight of your goal weight, you realized once you got there, you still weren't happy. And then you had the after effects of like the loose skin and whatever. But truly, in order to love who you are and what you're about, you do have to get to the roots, like Kristal said, and that I teach, and really look at yourself in the mirror and love exactly who you are right now. But a big thing is, once you look at yourself, I think a lot of times we're scared to look, because we're scared we're going to be stuck there. And by looking, it's just an awareness piece. You look, okay, this is where we're at. This is our starting point, and then we're going to move through. It's not always a physical thing. In order to work on the physical, I have to work on your mental first, or else it's never. You're going to be upset with me because you're like, wait a second, I'm not happy. Confidence, it didn't come with it. It's kind of like the whole toys, batteries sold separate. Confidence, you got to learn that piece too.
You do.
So I think part of when we came together, Kristal took my Bulletproof U course, one of the first versions of it. So there were a bunch of girls that were doing it at the same time. We had a live event, but I think it was one of the first times where you could actually stop and peel back the layers. What were some of the things that you learned while taking the course? Like when you had to look in the mirror and the things that you were saying, or when you had to stop yourself from saying those negative things and realizing, maybe you were bullied in the past, but who is bullying you now?
It was amazing. The first 20 minutes into listening to Megan, I remember I was in my car because I wasn't like really by a mirror, but I was like taking off layers, like what's that? And then so when you have to dig deep and realize, you know, it is the shame, not being enough. The whole weight loss thing, everyone wants, they want that fix. They want that overnight to be thin, and it's not. It's a constant, you're constantly working, like you had mentioned earlier, you have to put work into it. So when I'm telling you, she makes you dig. She
Wait,
tells
how
you
do you
some
explain
stuff.
it? What'd you compare it to? You said a root canal?
Yeah,
Explain
it's
why.
like, so this is how I felt like when Megan had this wonderful program. I'm like, it's like a root canal, and it hurts. I mean, it hurts. The only way you're gonna get that fixed is by, you can't go to your family doctor. You actually have to go to the doctor that can help you. So you can just go on and it's gonna get obsessed and really uncomfortable, or we can fix this thing, or you have your tooth pulled. So you just kind of have to figure out what pain you wanted. And I knew that I was gonna have to go through some type of eternal like pain, whether it was, I don't really want to say shame, but just to get past, like, as you take the layers off, I'm telling you, sometimes it's like a potato peel. Like, it's hard. Like, it's hard to even realize. And then you have to think of, how did I even get myself to this point? But then again, it was the whole people pleasing. It's, you know, is my hair right? Is my makeup right? Is someone, everyone that knows me knows I was blessed with the good size back in. People my whole life has teased me about that. And so that used to bother me a lot, especially when we would serve and I would have to be between those two tables. I would get anxieties taking an order because I was like right there. So, but yeah, so anyways, all of you know me, know I like to veer off a little bit in my conversation, but it's, yeah, just when you just start taking those layers, and it was like within 20 minutes of that, I had to catch myself like 5 or 6 times. And I remember texting Megan, I was like, wow, like I really was putting myself down and not even in a, like, I wasn't realizing it until I was, and then then I was aware of it, and I was like, wow. And then, so I have 2 daughters too. And so sometimes I would hear them say something and I'm like, oh wow, I think they got that from me. So you had to really be careful. Like I was like, wow. So
when you were, and then you were saying like that once you learned some of those things, the relief came kind of like when they pull the root out for a root canal. It is going to be a little painful at first because you have to acknowledge and you have to become aware and you have to face some of those things versus what we typically do, and we shove those things under the rug and we try to numb, whether it's with food, alcohol, drugs, sex, relationships, and whatnot. And then how did some of your own struggles, like you were getting into how it affected maybe the girls, but how did it affect relationships? And like the way that you showed up in relationships, or the things that just the struggles.
Well, I see it all the time. You have to love yourself. That was the number one thing. Self-love. If you don't love yourself, you can't go into a relationship expecting them to love you. The self-love was huge. And then as I was catching myself self-sabotaging, I actually was catching other people like, hey, don't say that about yourself. Hey. And then so it was keeping me accountable too, because now that I was calling them out, they were watching me too. So,
well, and you know what that's all about? There's a quote that says, she who learns teaches.
Yeah, let me tell you, I teach people, like I talk about it a lot, because once you can just truly love yourself, and I've had, like Megan said on some of my stuff, like a decade of just not so pleasant things in my family. So when you can truly love yourself, even now through that, I don't know, like I'm not saying that like in a bad way, but I don't care what people think. This is me. This is who I'm going to be. I'm being, every day Megan's taught me to be the best version of myself. Sometimes we're spread thin, you know, through the day and stuff. So I had to figure out, well, how was I going to give myself more time? I have to get up earlier, you know, 15, 20 minutes earlier, or an hour, whatever I needed for that day. But when you truly, truly know self-love, it is such a game changer. It changes the inside of you. I feel like you glow different. You respond different. Years ago, I would be freaking out. And, you know, work with me in the restaurant, I'd be so mad because I got skipped a table. And then just over time, you're like, well, wow, maybe there was a reason for that. Because sometimes no isn't no forever. It's just no in the moment. And bigger and better things are going to come. So I'm in the waiting a lot. And then I have a lot of faith. So doing this program too also reminded me that I am the king's daughter, and that all that matters is God's view of myself and me, as long as I'm not out there hurting people. But
well, and I think that for a long time you allowed people to just walk all over you, and I think that for me personally was one of the biggest things I saw with her, And people can say whatever they want. People don't know the entire story on anyone's life. But having boundaries in your life is another game changer. And that's something that you said you learned. Because you said you learned boundaries, acceptance, confidence, and that you're unbreakable. Yeah. And I think that a lot of times, even with something like this, we think it's going to be a quick fix. And as you know, how many times do you listen to Bulletproof? You listen a lot.
I still listen to it. You don't just get there. You're not ever just going to get there in life, and life is just happening. You have to work constantly. So you just, it's like you work out. Megan's a faithful. She works out every day. You have to just apply it to your life.
And that's an area that you vocalized that you want to try to get better. Like 2 areas you were saying, like now that you kind of tackled this, and this is a big thing too. You don't have to try to tackle everything at once. No. But once you get this right, and you're on the same team with yourself, everything else changes. So when you're good here, now you have a strong foundation. You already have a relationship with God. Yeah. So now you can just build on top of that and not worry about sinking through. So some things that you said you wanted to work on, you want to be consistent with more like working out, and you've been better with like food stuff, and just she loves to cook, and she's a really good cook, and good at food prep and all that stuff. But with your job, after Bulletproof, she went on and got her CDLs and became a female truck driver for DOT, which is awesome. So just trying to navigate all of that. And then, again, once you move through these steps, you figure out next goals. So like you said, some things with actual physical body, like working out, and then you said like financial stuff, getting the financial things in place. So I don't know, it does kind of set you up.
Yeah, I feel like this program, it's not like I said, you just do this week course. I mean, it applies to kind of, I go back to the Bible. It's like the Bible. You constantly just have to be in it. And
that's
you
a good analogy.
Yeah, I mean, it's there for you to look at and apply, or you can just leave it to the side and can get dusty. And so I feel like Megan's program is like this too, because I can go back at any given time. If I'm struggling on a day because something had come up, I can just go back and be like, you know what, hold on, I gotta get that crown back on. Because before I didn't even have the crown. Then I learned that, hey, I deserve a crown and I'm worthy of a crown. So sometimes it might get a little tilted because, sometimes people's opinions does hurt us. But then I just straighten it back up and keep on moving. But yeah, it's the inner self. It's the mental. Our mind's so powerful. So if we can adjust our mindset, that was a huge game changer for me too.
Well, how did you actually do the program? Like for you, I always love, because I know how you did it, but like when did you listen, or did you read it, or what was your...
When I was in truck driving school, I drove for Lyft just so I can have a little bit of an income coming in. So I was listening to that in between passengers. And then sometime I get so excited, I was like, hold up, and I had to rewind it because it was so powerful. And then I found myself, I started like sharing with my passengers about like, hey, what do you think about this? And what do you think about this? And I told Megan I could be your sales girl out there.
But she's a little evangelist.
Yeah, but the boundaries were huge. Mindset, I'm trying to narrow this down because I get scattered, but your mind is so powerful. Don't let your mind be a prison. Don't let your mind tell you that you are not worthy, or I call them Satan distractions sometimes. Just don't let that come in. Just know who you are. Love yourself in your own skin. And I'm just saying this, and I know you hear it repeated because I learned this from Megan and Derek. But man, I'm telling you, because I would have never ever went on a live video without a long sleeve shirt. I came in with a sweater, and I wouldn't have. But when you learn to love yourself, you're just like, this is me. This is me. This is who I am, and I just try to do the best I can every day and try to be the hand and feet of Jesus out there and bless people and try to help people.
So what's it like to be bulletproof?
It's amazing. It is amazing. It is so amazing. Like you just, to just wake up and know. I mean, not that every day is easy, because I do have some hard days, but like we were talking about the trucker thing. I mean, the big thing for me was working out. You can't work out now. You can't get out of your trucks because of COVID. You literally are in the truck to the bed. So that was one thing I was going to work on. But so some days I'm just like, I get frustrated, but it's okay. What I learned is I don't fall and I don't stay down there no more. I don't just let my cuts stay. I clean them up and you get back up. If you fall down again, you get back up. You won't just learn. And I think that's how we become wise too. We have a lot of wisdom from just from going through our situations.
Oh yeah, you built up huge resiliency muscles. If you knew her whole story. Whew. Yeah. Okay, so what's it like to work with me as far as Bulletproof goes, or like coaching or whatever?
Megan is, I don't even have words to describe. I never knew back in 2006.
We met in 2006. We met through working together at the restaurant that Derek and I met working together a long time ago.
Yeah, never in a million years. Sometimes people come in for a season. Sometimes people come in your life for a long time. But I never knew the impact that she would have on my life. I always tell her, like, Megan, I'm like 10 years older than you. Like, but I'm learning so much from her. And then Michaela, last week, our other Bulletproof queen, she's learned this at age 21.
Well, no, she did it at 20.
At 20. Can you imagine being 20 and going through this course? I had to wait till I was 45 years old, and I'm just learning a lot of stuff. But so working with Megan, she definitely keeps you accountable, but not pushy. You know, she's makes sure that she's there for you if you have questions. And like I said, sometimes she'll ask you stuff that is a little painful. And then, I mean, I was never mad ever in it, but there's just times I'm just like, dang, why does she have to ask me that? Like, I don't want to dig into that. But she helped pull the root out like a weed, you know, so that I can get that weed out so the flowers can start blossoming.
Well, and there's time, like the way it's set up, it's not all at once. Like it's layered, and you do baby steps, and then sometimes you may not be ready for a piece, so you kind of listen, and you can listen again, kind of like what you said. I've jumped into her car before, and she's had me playing, which sounds so weird. I'm like, that's how I sound. So no, but and to give her credit too, when you put in the work, things change. Like it's not just going to be something that just happens immediately. It is going to be something that you have to be ready. You have to be ready to receive. You may not feel worthy just yet, but we're going to get you there. That's the whole, like, come as you are, and we're going to help you transform and work through the layers of self-sabotage. Everybody's is different. You're going to see, you know, with having Michaela on here, you on here, Rachel, Amy, some other girls, Lindsay, like everybody's story is different. It's not always a weight loss thing, but it can be a self-worth thing. And that's the whole point. Like, it's trying to reclaim your self-worth and get you comfortable in your own skin. And when you can do that, watch out. So who's Bulletproof for?
I would say, I think
you always pick them out. She's my evangelist. I'm telling you, for real. When she worked for Lyft, she was always like, found this girl.
I still do it. And actually, I'm finding out too that men struggle with this too, not just females. So I just think that anyone that's just stuck, like you just feel stuck, you're just tired, like, you know, Michaela said last week, you're just tired of being tired. You just need a different resource. You know, maybe the resource you were using before is not working. It's that whole loop thing, you know, just going in that circle. You know, I was tired of going around 465 for years. I wanted an exit. I wanted to know this is where my destination is going. But like she said, I had to put in the work. I highly, highly recommend it. I don't even know what's all the stuff, like Megan said, I've been through a lot of stuff, where I would even be had I not taken that course. So it just kept me strong. It kept me grounded. It kept me grounded in my faith. And I mean, I'll be the biggest preacher out there, because self-love is so important. Like, you have to love yourself.
Well, as Michael Todd says, what you do in your singleness is everything. And so Kristal has been married before. She's dated a lot in the past. And I think also with this, it put boundaries around things. She's actually taking a relationship course right now, so stay tuned. But I think it's allowed you to put boundaries and become more aware with clarity on what you want to attract, what you don't want to attract. And even though we slip up and still attract people sometimes with red flags, or like, oh no, I can fix them, or oh no, I think that it's made you really change the way that you see yourself and what you can actually attract and what you deserve. And
because you know your worth. You're priceless. You know, don't let anyone tell you else.
And tax.
And tax, there's no free tax day with me, but even like a number 1 through 10, you know, if they're not all there, if 10's not there, I learn not to settle, because that's gonna eventually surface. But that relationship course, but you gotta, it's a process. You have to do this first in order to get there. But Megan is phenomenal. She's just been very patient. She's like 1 Corinthians, you know, the love is patient, love is kind. You know, she never tears you down. She's just always encouraging. So, but yeah, I say it's for everyone. I don't think it's for an in particular age or an area in your life, I mean, anyone can you imagine if the world all self-loved each other? This would be a beautiful world.
Love, not being comparison driven.
Yep.
Okay, so this is the last little bit. Advice or anything you want to add? Are you gonna do it?
No.
Come on.
So when we first started Bulletproof,
And I forgot about this.
Another Bulletproof beauty, might have been Rachel. Was it Rachel? Had asked to do that song from The Showman.
And I think it was Leanna, but yeah.
Oh, Leanna, yeah. About This Is Me. And so actually I was listening to it this morning, so I'm like, you know what? I'm coming in on this video and I'm gonna be like, this is me
like,
now.
yes.
Like, and then I was just like, well, I don't know, it just the way our setup was. But as I was listening to that though, I mean, it talks about, look out, here I come. You know, I'm gonna march to the beat of my own drum. And that's, I mean, when I was listening to it at the beginning, I sang it for the group. And then just seeing where I'm at now, I was like, wow, yeah, look out, because here I come. Yeah, like this is, it's just all about, and what works for me might not work for someone else. That was a huge thing. I call Megan all the time. Megan, what should I cook? How should I work out? What about this? Which she does have a workout too. I got a gold mine here. That's amazing. You know, but what works for her won't work for me. What works for me, not for someone else. However, this program will work for everyone. I mean, you do it at your own pace. There's no test, there's no fail, there's no nothing. If you truly want to enrich your life and just be a better version of yourself, I say get on it today. Don't wait another day.
Any more advice?
Nope.
She
really wants me to bust out this song.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to. It was really, really beautiful. Maybe she'll get on live, like on her own, and do.
And be like, okay,
or maybe the next time she's on here, it might be, because it was like.
Yeah.
I'm a speaker. I don't sing. Like I mean, I can, but it's like.
That's pretty. The next time, I can't reveal everything at once.
Well, thank you, friend.
Thank you for everyone listening.
She literally is amazing, and I'm excited. Just with any of the girls, and for me personally, I'm not perfect and a perfect person that's trying to teach perfection. That's not. I'm the exact opposite. But when I learn things, I love to teach those, because especially with people that I love, especially people that are in my circle, because we want more women lifting other women up instead of criticizing, instead of putting people down, instead of talking behind people's backs and talking about negative things and attracting negative relationships. And so when you have friends that do invest in you, Kristal invested in my stuff. I didn't give it to you free. Like you went through, you did it all. And now she's a believer. And it's amazing to watch that in you. It's amazing to see the things that you've done already. And then again, 2020, COVID or not, things are still happening.
Yep. And I just wouldn't wait. I mean, tomorrow's never promised. Like, I don't know. I just wouldn't wait. You don't want to wait 6 months down and keep hearing these testimonies and be like, man, I want to be there. I want to be there. Just get yourself there. You know, it's not, I'm telling you, it's not hard. It's actually, it was really nice, because then you learn just to take that time out for yourself.
It's like planned self-love, self-care.
Yep.
Well, thank you, friend.
Yep, it was great.
So guys, look at her. She did a live video, like, whoop, whoop. You know, speaking is one of the top 2 fears in the world, and
we killed it. Good job, friend. Good job.
All right, we love you.
Love you. Bye.